of late, beach volleyball in action, along with track and field. It's always a good time to swoop with the Ospreys at UNFOspreys.com.
Broadcasting live from the ESPN 690 Anajar and Levine studios. Anajar and Levine Accident Attorneys. Call 904-600-4000. That's 904-600-4000. ESPN 690. Jacksonville's home for ESPN Radio. WOKV Jacksonville. Listen live everywhere you go on ESPN690.com. ESPN 690, a Cox Media Group station. Now, your chance to win $1,000 with the ESPN 690 payroll payout.
Text the word LITTLE to the number 70123 before 15 past the hour. That's LITTLE.
Your next chance to win is at 5 p.m. This is a nationwide contest. Message and data rates apply. Get the complete rules now at ESPN690.com. Your favorite course, your favorite foursome, your favorite score. What's your Dream 18? We visit with the names you know to relive their favorite 18 holes of golf. It's the Dream 18 Show, presented by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors.
Hey, welcome into Davoli's House of Cards here on a Wednesday for our second episode of the Dream 18 Show. Happy to have you along with us. And, well, we just said it all. What's your favorite round of golf is really the theme of this show. We do it for an hour each and every Wednesday for a few months here for Season 1 of the Dream 18. Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz here on this Wednesday. And a lot going on in the Jacksonville area, but hope to have you jumping in from really all over on the social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch. Hashtag Dream18. Tell us about your favorite round. Maybe we'll give it a mention here on the show, and if not on this show, maybe in the coming weeks. We also have a podcast. If you missed last week, you have Jim Furyk's 58 at TPC River Highlands. Our entire conversation with Jim Furyk on the podcast. Just search Dream18. And today's guest, Paul Tesori. He's a local golfer, actually just qualified for the Florida State Golf Association Senior Open Championship. So he will play in that. Shows you how that he's got game. But he's a longtime caddy now on the PGA Tour and caddies for Webb Simpson, including a magical hometown win for Webb and Paul at the Players' Championship back in 2018. So not the everyday rounds, but of that tournament, one round in particular for Paul Tesori is a favorite, and we'll talk to him about that coming up. Casey Kurtz, say hello. What's happening, man? We got the Zurich Classic this week. A little tandem golf, if you will.
Yeah, it's a different one. They do the match play once a year. They do the team golf once a year. So you're in a team golf situation. A lot of good teams. Scotty Scheffler in the field. Ryan Palmer once again worked his way into having a great partner. He will have Scotty Scheffler. Maybe the most notable, Colin Morikawa and Victor Hovland will play together, so that'll be exciting. A lot of good teams, and then just locally some interest. Cameron Smith will once again team up with Mark Leishman. They usually team up, and they are the defending champs, I do believe. So a lot of good teams to watch. Not every big name in the field, but those are the three marquee teams you'll be looking at this week.
All right, we'll talk more about that, get some of our picks, our Power T picks of the week. Those will be on the way. This is the Dream 18 Show, sponsored by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors right here in the Jacksonville area. And a burning question for you, Casey. Yesterday, I was at this course called Little Sandy.
Okay.
Had never heard of that probably before yesterday. Few people have. It just opened over the weekend up in Amelia Island, which is in the Jacksonville area. And it's part of the Omni Amelia Island Resort now. And so it's not open to the public, but it's more of an amenity for resort guests. Well, it's another one of these short courses. It's 10 holes. And the maximum distance is like 115 yards. They have holes that range from like 50 yards to 115 yards. You play in about 75 minutes. So one of the questions of the day today, to kick this off before we get to our conversation with Paul Tesori, do you like these short courses? There's a lot of them now. If you go to Pinehurst, they have the Cradle. I think Tiger Woods did the Hay, which is out at Pebble Beach. I believe Streamsong has a little bit of an idea of one of these as well. They've added Streamsong right here in Florida. Bandon Dunes has one. So you're looking at a lot of these resort-style courses that now have these 10 holes, 12 holes, short courses. Have you played many, Casey? And do you like the concept?
There's a couple that I've played in the Sarasota area. One of them, actually, that we've talked about, Suncoast Golf Center, they actually have Power Tee. So Play down there a little bit. It's all pretty short. I think the longest one is like 150. It is 18 holes, though, which is kind of cool, but they're all pretty short. And then there's another one in St. Pete that I played at a lot of time. Not as good, but, I do like it because I've mentioned this before, I'm pretty sure, at least to you. If it's like within 100 yards and between 100 and like 65, I don't have a club that I can hit. So it is pretty good practice to figure out yardage and distance for someone who's not very good, like I'm not very good. So it's more a learning experience than anything, and then you get to work on your putting as well in like a real life situation. So yeah, I can mess with it, and it's not as much walking, so I'm with that as well.
Well, that's the thing. So there's a lot of pluses to this, and I talked to the designer yesterday of that course. We were up there and checking it out for the first time. Locally here, too, we have a place called The Yards, which was an old golf course, Oak Bridge golf course. They used some of the land to build property on, but they also kept some of it, and they built this. It's not a short course necessarily, but it's different. It's got 9 holes on the front, and then they have 3 short holes on the back, and then 3 more holes where you can basically go grab a drink and play those 3 holes. So it's really like 15 holes, but the round's about 12. You can play 9, but the round is about 12 holes. Now that's a mix, par 5, a couple par 4s, some par 3s, but it's unique. It's different. It's not your 18-hole regulation course. And this concept, the short course concept, is even different than that. It's more executive golf courses as you know it in terms of the par 3s. You really can grab one of those Sunday bags, grab a few clubs, and go hit it, and that's it, and walk it. And you've got the family that you can bring out there. They don't even have to love golf. You can still hit it, make some shots, kind of a new form of miniature golf, if you will, for the kids, and maybe get them excited about it. And I think, Casey, the biggest thing is it saves time, right? You're not talking about a 4-hour round of golf. You're talking about a 75-minute round of golf. That's all it takes to play something like that, maybe up to 2 hours at a place like the Yards here in town because it's not all par 3s. So this is today's consumer, right? That 4 hours, that seems like a bunch. 2 hours, an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and a half, I got time for that.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like for a while there, that Play 9 initiative was a big thing, just, to play 9 holes, get out moving, and then it's short, though. So I think the short time that it takes, and you're still getting, a good experience out of it, getting to play golf, work on your game. I think it's valuable, and I think it will continue to be valuable going forward because it's something that I like, and I guess I'm in that younger generation, sort of. So if I like it, I'm sure people will continue to play it and move on with it, and then it might become even bigger in the next couple of years.
Well, yeah, and I think it is going to keep getting bigger and bigger. I have a couple of thoughts on it, and this is like take the Omni Resort location. Like they have a lot of meetings, right? Business meetings and maybe like not necessarily like convention center type deals, but these bigger business meetings that people will go away for the weekend, retreats, if you will. And so when you're meeting, maybe you break away for an hour and a half and go do something like this. Maybe some other folks go for a walk or a bike ride, but you can actually go play a little golf.
Sure.
And take a break from the business side of things. So it's not just for your everyday golfer, though I think your everyday golfer enjoys it too. I actually think, Casey, that the golf world was going this way a few years ago. Basically said, you know what, 4 hours, 7,000 yards, we're not good enough. It's frustrating. People don't like hard. Your diehard golfer, of course, has no problem with that. But to get new golfers into the game, it's really hard to get them to do that. Well, I think this was a way the golf world was going to get younger people involved in the golf. Well, then what happened was the pandemic hit, and the golf world boomed.
Yeah.
And so now we have this collision of, hey, we're trying to get new golfers in with like kids and families and maybe not your diehards. And so you got these short courses you introduce people to. And then you've got this new like everybody's going golfing. The golf courses are packed all across the country, and so now you have this like just convergence of both concepts that right now the golf world's on fire.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you, and I think it's valuable in terms of that because, like you said, there's people golfing all over the place. So the idea that you can spread out and maybe like not have to wait at the tee box, that's something I'm about, by the way. But in general, just not having to wait, have other options, more places to play, I think it helps. If you still want to play your 4-hour round, like, don't get me wrong, I'm all for it. There are times when that's valuable, but especially on the weekend when there's a lot of, other sport opportunities that you might be able to watch or go to, or there's something else you might be interested in, the idea that you can play quickly, get a good pretty much full round of it, if you will, out of it, not have to spend 4 hours, it's a win-win in my opinion.
And you just said something, so where are we going with it? Well, could we get to the point where so many of these are being built and more get built? You don't need as much property to build them on. They're not as expensive to build them on. They're fun for everybody to go participate. They're also probably a less expensive round of golf. Could we get to the point where we have like a short course tour of sorts? I mean, we have long drive competitions. We have putting competitions. We have, for kids, drive, chip, and putt. And then, of course, we have what seems like millions of tours for different levels of golf, from amateur to collegiate to youth to the PGA Tour. Could we get to a point where we see like a short course tour, and would it be like a made-for-TV event? We were talking about that yesterday when we were up at Little Sandy. I think it's a fascinating idea if we get enough of them.
Yeah, I agree. I think in terms of that, like, obviously the long drive does well because people want to see people hit it a long way. Like, that's just the idea of it. But I think that it's just a thing where people are really good. Like, some people are really good with wedges and short irons. So to be able to show that off is something that you have to find the audience for, one. But once you do, it could do well, because there are, like we talked with Jim Furyk last week, he was in his Dream 18 round. He holed a couple of pretty solid wedge and iron shots from short irons. So that is a valuable thing to watch people hole it left and right. I think people would come in and watch that, or just shoot it, a couple feet from the pin. I think would be exciting for diehard golf fans to watch. And then from that point on, how do you grow it, obviously? And if you can get to that point, it's a whole nother market of young golfers you can work towards, because not everyone can be on the PGA Tour, the Korn Ferry Tour. But you expand this to now, hey, if you hit it a long way, if you're just great in general, or you're good with short clubs, then now there's an opportunity for you to be a professional and continue your golf career at a high level.
I'll add one more thing. Tiger Woods, he's designing golf courses, right, and designing many different kinds of golf courses right now. Well, he just unveiled in the state of Florida today 2 18-hole putting courses. And so now you're talking about leaving the golf club in the car and just take the flat stick, or they might give you one. But this isn't necessarily miniature golf, Casey. So you're seeing the world change, right? These are just extravagant putting courses. But again, not the windmills and trick shots and those kind of things. This is more for the person that doesn't mind putting, wants to putt, and just go out and putt for a half hour and play 18 holes of putting. And so we're getting all these variations of the golf world colliding. And when you have people like Tiger Woods behind some of these new innovations, you got a feeling it's going to take off. Yeah,
I mean, usually anything Tiger puts his name to goes pretty well. So I think I agree with that part of it. I think one of them is in Sarasota, by the way. I saw that article come up. So that's pretty cool for the people down in Sarasota, just more golf, more opportunities. But I'm at least interested, like, putting usually for the most part, you can hit it, solidly every time. I don't always hit the ball up in the air and straight when I use any of the other clubs. But putting, I at least have a pretty good idea I'm going to hit it solidly. It's not going to go the right place. But the idea that, it's a club that most people can use without needing a ton of skill, obviously reading the greens and everything is a skill. But the idea that you can actually hit a club and play well with it, and given the opportunity to do that on multiple occasions, not just in a putt-putt situation, I think will be valuable, and I think people will use it, no matter if Tiger designed it or not.
Yeah, I'll give you one more example of this, okay? So I've played West Palm Beach, has a par 3 right on the ocean in Intercoastal. It's unbelievable. This comes unsolicited, by the way. They're not part of the show. But if you like golf, and hopefully you do and you're listening to this, if you're down in West Palm Beach, I've had so many people be like, where did you play? Like, they don't know about the course. And it's a hidden gem now. It's awesome. It's really a lot of fun to play. So Stuart Weber, who works with us in radio and TV, we were down there for the owners' meetings, and we played that course. Well, then he was with me at Little Sandy yesterday on that short course. Stuart never beats me in golf, Casey. Like, he won't beat me. He just doesn't. And I'm not like this unbelievable golfer, but I'm probably a 9 handicap. He might be, I don't know, like an 18 handicap.
Sure.
And so he's not beating me. These last 2 times we played on these short courses, par 3s, if you will, he's beaten me both times.
Yikes.
So it's just interesting, right? That, like, it really exposes, or at least introduces you to, hey, this part of my game's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like when I go out that regulation course and I shoot 95, I'm like, I'm not very good at this game. Or 105, not very good at this game. Well, then you go play a place like that, like, you know what? This part of my game's all right. I enjoy this. and I know what I have to work on when I get to the regulation course.
Yeah, exactly. You figure out what you're good at, and then if you're really good on the short courses like Stuart Weber, maybe spend some time on the range hitting the driver. Maybe
That's it.
I don't know, but it seems like that might be where Stuart should spend his time. Now, granted, I'm in no position to give anybody an idea of what they need to practice on, but to your point, exactly, you can figure out what you're good at, and then next time you go out, know what you need to work on, and then once you get to a spot where you're 150 yards out, then when you start placing bets with your friends, like, hey, closest to the pin, let's do it, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, just keep an eye on it now. The short courses, the putting courses, the collision with the regulation courses. We have new courses being built in the country. Not a lot of them, but a lot that are being built are more of these style courses instead of your 7,000-yard par 72s. Those are not being built as much anymore. In fact, there's probably a better chance some of them over the years have closed down than be built. Crazy enough, in the Jacksonville area, there actually are a couple. One in particular that's being built regulation size. That's just because of all the people moving into the Jacksonville area. But check out the short courses in a place near you. Brent Martineau, Casey Kurtz, this is the Dream 18 show, sponsored by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors. Let's take a break. We're live at Davoli's House of Cards, where we'll have our regular show 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. on this Wednesday. Action Sports Jacks OT after that with Casey Kurtz and Brian Middleton. No jumbo shrimp tonight. They're actually playing this afternoon. We'll give you an update on that coming up a little bit later on in our regular show. But more golf talk when we come back. Our conversation with Paul Tesori this week. What is his Dream 18, his favorite round of golf as a caddy, and it comes with Webb Simpson. We talk all about it when we come back on the Dream 18 show, sponsored by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors on ESPN 690.
Here at ESPN 690, Brent and Austin have become addicted to sports cards.
Jamar Chase, season's greetings, autograph, 2 of 3. I'm banging, bang, 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 bang. Tony Montana, Tony Montana, bang.
That was our best moment.
Dude,
That was our moment.
Join the addiction weekdays from 3 to 6 right here on ESPN 690.
Now, the First Alert forecast on ESPN 690.
Plenty of sun today. It'll be breezy at times, rather cool at the beaches, only near 70 degrees, reaching the mid-70s inland. Fair to partly cloudy into the 50s tonight and partly sunny tomorrow. Your Thursday high 77 and still quite breezy. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Burrish. Join me today beginning at 5 p.m. on CBS 47 and Fox 30 Action News Jax.
The Weather Center is brought to you by Beards Diamonds. Don't miss the buy one, get one free on wedding band event going on now until this Sunday at Beards Diamonds.
It's a good time to upgrade around your home. You like the sound of reducing noise coming in the house? Do you want to be more energy efficient at your house? Let Florida Georgia Windows and Doors upgrade your home. 35 years of experience to get the job done. Protect your home from storms and increase your home security with modern windows and doors from Florida Georgia Windows and Doors. 904-641-7010. 904-641-7010. Save money, look better, protect your home with Florida Georgia Windows and Doors. Everybody loves a grand opening. How about a grand opening special at iCryo in St. Johns County? They open Saturday at Durbin Pavilion. Cryotherapy, IV infusion, red light therapy, sauna, compression, body sculpting, and more. Passes are discounted until Saturday. 6 lifestyle services for just $99. 16 for $179. And you can save on an Elite Pass, too. Download the iCryo app, recover from a sporting event, or just your daily lifestyle at iCryo. It's the grand opening at Durbin Pavilion. Stop by iCryo in St. Johns County and elevate your lifestyle.
When you're in the mood for love, but you have ED or PE, have you tried those little blue pills? Have they let you down? Have they left you more frustrated? The answer isn't more blue pills with awful side effects. The answer is a private consultation with a specialist in men's health at Prime Men's Medical Center.
I'm Dr. Rabinski. If you're not the man you used to be in the bedroom and Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra have let you down, Prime Men's Medical Center offers custom blended medications. There's no pain and no surgery. Even men who have diabetes, high blood pressure, or prostate issues are lasting 30, 60, 90 minutes or longer. And it's affordable.
Men, if you want to last longer in the bedroom without little blue pills, schedule a private consultation at Prime Men's Medical Center. We guarantee you'll see results on your first visit or your exam is free. Call 904-664-8217. 904-664-8217. That's 904-664-8217.
St. Michael's Soldiers is a grassroots effort to support the local military and their families, and is also a proud beneficiary of the Dream 18 charities. St. Michael's Soldiers sends thousands of care packages to men and women overseas annually. They also host special events for Gold Star and Blue Star families in the Jacksonville area. Plus, they support first responders with their Homegrown Kindness Project. They also hold events like Rock the Box Charity Concert and Stuffing Stockings for Soldiers. Follow St. Michael's Soldiers on Facebook, Instagram, and at stmichaelsoldiers.org.
You know what's great about getting older? The toys are way cooler. Spring is here, and it's playtime.
Yeah!
And One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union, has slash loan rates across the board on all the toys. Motorcycles, jet skis, boats, RVs, ATVs, even golf carts. And it's fun and potentially dangerous. One-to-One Financial has the perfect loan to help you finance it. Check out our rock-bottom rates and apply now at one-to-onefcu.org. Come out and play. Federally insured by NCUA.
A proud sponsor of the Dream 18 is Power Tee. Get at them at PowerTee.com because they make golf better. They provide an incredible hitting experience while you are on the range. You can find Power Tee at top facilities around the world, including St. Andrews. Locally, find it at Fleming Island Golf Club. I use it at Blue Sky Golf Club. I was down in Sarasota recently, and I found a location in Sarasota with Power Tee. All the information on how to get and where to find Power Tee is on their website at PowerTee.com, and make golf better.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents
And Doug.
Check it out, Limu, a roadside carnival.
Step right up, folks. Test your strength. Come see the fire-breathing baby.
Let's fan out and tell people that Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance so you only pay for what you need.
Look, an emu wearing sunglasses.
Limu, you're famous. Only pay for what you need.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Yeah, I'm so stressed. Our business is growing. We've got people all over now.
Ooma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending Ooma and their all-in-one phone, video, and collaboration solution.
Ooma?
Yep. Switching to Ooma is a cinch. Just $24.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Ooma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Ooma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
Hey everybody, it's Brent Martineau from Action Sports Jacks. There's a good chance you have a smart speaker, so use it with ESPN 690. Stay up to date on the Jags and all things sports by telling Alexa or Google to play ESPN 690. It's as easy as that. Make sure you listen weekdays 3 until 6 p.m. on ESPN 690. Hey, welcome back to DeVoli's House of Cards. This is where we host on Wednesday the Dream 18 show. Just started it last week. It was a debut show, and this is the debut season. Season 1 will have 12 episodes over the next few months, each and every Wednesday at 2 o'clock. Part of an expansion of our Dream 18 charities that we started way back in 2010, have raised over $200,000 for local charities in the Jacksonville area. We want to expand it a little bit. We have a discount card now for local golf, which, by the way, go to ActionSportsJacksDream18.com. If you have been to golf courses, the rates are high, and we can save you a bunch at local courses in Northeast Florida. ActionSportsJacksDream18.com. And now this show expands our Dream 18 a little bit more. We're really just having fun with it, catching up with not just golf people, but we're going to try to get with other people from walks of life that like the sport of golf, that have played their favorite round. And the favorite round of golf doesn't always have to be the best score. Sometimes it is, but might be the course, might be the foursome, might be something else that made it your favorite round of golf. Well, in our next guest's case, it was a special round of golf. Maybe not the best score ever, but a one to remember for Paul Tesori. He caddies for Webb Simpson. It was one to remember for Webb Simpson, too. It was the 2018 Players' Championship. And a little background here, Paul's a Jacksonville guy and a very good golfer, and he's been in the game for a long time, caddying as well, as we get into with our conversation with Paul. But this is a hometown tournament for Paul Tesori. The other thing about Webb Simpson, world-class player that had really slipped, and his putting had kind of gone way down over the last few years leading up to this season on the tour for Webb Simpson. Part because they changed the rule of the anchoring the putter. Remember, they had the long putter and you couldn't anchor it anymore. Well, Webb Simpson had trouble going back to the other style putter. And, well, on this day, on a Friday at the Players' Championship in 2018. He certainly figured it out, didn't he, Casey?
Yeah, he really did. It was an incredible round. You hear a lot about it. Obviously, the full conversation you can get on the podcast. We'll tell you how to get that on the other side of this. But, yeah, this is the conversation, and we start right at the beginning and why this round, of all the rounds that Paul caddied with Webb Simpson, why this round was his Dream 18.
Paul Tesori with us, and now we get to the Dream 18 round, and it's a Friday at the Players' Championship in 2018, and I guess a lot of people would say, well, wait a minute, a Friday, a second round, the Players' Championship, obviously Webb goes on and wins, but, I mean, you guys have played in the Ryder Cup, the President's Cup, you won a U.S. Open back in 2012. There's a lot of rounds to pick from, but this is your hometown, man. This is a hometown win. I got to believe that has a little something to do with it.
Absolutely. So, I grew up, my grandfather was a starter at Ponte Vedra and Club for over 20 years. My dad learned how to play the game here in the area, and then obviously I did too. And TPC Sawgrass, I had gone around the golf course, hit shots on the course before it was even sodded. That would have been back in like 81, 82, and Ray Height was the superintendent, and my grandfather and Ray were best friends. So I used to go out. I remember hitting shots on the 17th hole with no grass there yet. And so, yes, the Players has been a special spot for me. When we were at Florida, we would come over and play. I played the U.S. Amateur at TPC Sawgrass in '94. And then when I played on tour, I would play out there probably 5 days a week. I estimate I played, probably over 600 rounds around the golf course. So after Augusta National, the Players Championship was my second biggest tournament I wanted to win personally. This is home sweet home for me, friends and family and church and my background. And so this was it for me. And, it was a weird week in the fact that I usually don't, kind of foretell great play, but I told friends and family that I thought Webb was going to win the golf tournament. We hadn't won in over 4.5 years. His game was as sharp as I had ever seen it. It was firm and fast, which is what I miss about May. And when that course is firm and fast, it really favors shot makers. And Webb's a shot maker. He likes to turn the ball a lot, right to left to right. Likes to hit a lot of different flights on his golf shot. So I was excited headed in the week, to say the least.
Well, you shot a 66. Webb shot a 66 on Thursday in the opening round. Very good round, obviously, at TPC Sawgrass. But did the coffee taste better on Friday morning? Was there anything different about that day as it set up to end up having what would be an historic round on that Friday, the second round, 2018 at the Players?
I feel like I don't like to consider myself pessimistic. I'm going to stick with that word realist. I think I'm a realist. So heading into that Friday round, my expectations were fairly low as far as score goes. The scores were really low the first day. Typically, they don't like that very much. So I knew they were going to turn the water off overnight. And I knew going into Friday afternoon, we were going to get about a 10-mile-an-hour wind. The course was going to dry out, become crispy and tough. And so I told a buddy of mine, I said, if you give me 3 under right now, I'll sit in the clubhouse and watch the guys play golf. So kind of headed into that round, the expectations for going deep definitely weren't there. And I still kind of remember as the round progressed, he made the long putt for eagle on number 2. Even then I was kind of thinking, okay, let's just get into the round. It's going to play tough, especially as the day progresses, and let's just kind of one foot in front of the other and hole by hole. And, pretty soon things started to change.
Yeah, Paul, when you mentioned the second hole, obviously the eagle there starts things for you, but I think it's fascinating. Just on the second round alone, Webb gained almost 5 strokes on the green. Obviously, it helps make it a 33-foot putt. Were you guys just reading it well? Was he just hot as fire? Like, 5 strokes in one round is an incredible number to gain on the greens, in my opinion.
Yeah, it really is. It's the second best putting round statistically he's had since he's been on tour. So I think this is season 14 for him. So that'll share with you how hot it was. I think it's a lot of things kind of coming into one. It's well known that Webb had gone through the yips or whatever you want to call it, putting anxiety for about 2.5 years. It was 2017 Players, the year before, where Tim Clark kind of gave Webb that right-hand grip, kind of the saw grip that he uses. And so in that year leading up to the 18 Players, Webb had putted incredible. I think it was top 5 in putting even that year in 18 going into the Players. So we knew it was something he was doing well. And, I hate to kind of bust on the obvious part of it, but if you go back and look at video, I was using those big old green sheets. So back then we were allowed to use, these green contour books that were on, like a cardstock sheet that was about the size you would have like notebook paper. And so green reading at the time was very easy. You could really get it down to a science about where to start balls. And Webb was in one of those places where he almost couldn't start one offline. His lines were matched up. His confidence was high. And so Bermuda is where I grew up on, and having these green books, it was kind of easy, it felt like, from my standpoint. Obviously, Weber had to go do all the hard work. I just kind of, got to tell him where to aim. And, like you said, the puddle number 2, the kind of unexpected 35-footer for Eagle, to kind of just get into the round, 2 under through 2, and to set forth what was about to come a few holes later when the putt goes in on 5. And you start thinking like, okay, now we're off to a really solid start. And, let's just, again, kind of keep putting one foot in front of the other. And to me, number 7 was the first time where I started to think, okay, something special is happening.
Paul Tesori with us here, and the Dream 18 round, a Friday at the Players Championship 2018 on the bag for Webb Simpson, and we'll get into the round as we continue to do that. But I want to make a couple of notes here. Talk about the putting woes of Webb Simpson. A lot of that came on the heels of the anchored putter rule that had changed years prior, and so that was an adjustment in itself. Webb had putted very well with that anchored putter. It's like so many others had. Think about like an Adam Scott and other golfers that had done that. But the Green Book rule, I don't have as much knowledge about, Paul. Tell us a little bit more why the tour changed that, and what is the difference now?
Yeah, so we went through 2 different stages kind of the Green Book as far as the rules go. So the ones I was using in 2018, I completely agreed when they banned them at the end of that year. In fact, at the time, there was only 3 of us caddies using those, again, that were on, for a lack of a better term and, kind of exact measurements, it's like a notebook size sheet that I had per green that was zeroed in on like where the pin was that day. And so the amount of detail that I had putt by putt, hole by hole was extreme, especially as you got closer to the pin. And it was invaluable. So at the end of that year, at the end of that week, the other 2 guys that were using those called me and said, thanks a lot. Those will be gone soon, because on every hole they're showing Webb, and I've got these big sheets, and Webb's making it from everywhere. When you have Tiger Woods talking about maybe some of the best putting he's ever seen, that guy made everything for about 15 years. So for him to say something like that, how special it was. But, I was asked one time, had I ever seen a putting performance like that? And I said, yeah, probably a dozen times. And they were a little confused, and they said, can you tell me when? I said, yeah, I can go through all 12 of Tiger's rounds. And, they laughed. But, Webb was basically putting as if the hole was a bucket. It looked like Tiger was in his prime, and I had these green sheets that were making things easy. So at the end of 18, they made it to where it could only be a much smaller size, a yardage book size. And now here we are in 2022, and this is the first year where now green books are banned permanently, and I don't think we'll ever see them again on the PGA Tour. I miss them. You're seeing a lot of Aim Point Express now on tour with guys. If you'll see them, they're straddling the lines, kind of using 1 finger, 2 finger, 3 fingers. Using their feet more to green read. The books made pace of play faster, but also obviously took a little bit of the feel out of the green reading.
You were doing your job too well, man. That was the thing.
Yeah, I always believe in any sport you play, push the boundaries as far as you can. We've seen it with Bryson, all the things that he's done in our game, and they've outlawed a lot of the things that he's done. But because he likes to push the boundaries, and if we can find anything we can to just get a leg up on the competition, we're going to try to do it.
The Eagle with a long putt on 2 in this Friday round at TPC Sawgrass at the 2018 Players Championship, the Dream 18 round for Paul Tesori, caddy for Webb Simpson, birdie 5. And then you mentioned 7. You said, okay, this is where it might get special. And I think he hit a shot out of the bunker. I believe it was the fairway bunker on number 7 to keep this thing going, right?
Exactly. So 7's always an awkward tee shot. Anytime that you're there, it's a good win for us. It was out of the right, but he pulled it down the left-hand side. It's questionable if it's going to carry or not. It did, and it finished to the left-hand side of the left bunker on number 7, and the pin's kind of that front section. And at the time, if you would have said, what's Webb's greatest weakness, I would have said fairway bunker play. And sure enough, it's a really good, I believe it was an 8-iron in there. I could be wrong, but I believe it was an 8-iron. It's a great shot in there to about, 15 feet, and makes the putt. And I remember thinking right then, because I had already said, you give me 3 under today, I'd walk off the golf course and just watch play. And when he made that 15-footer to go 4 under, we were already 1 better through 7 holes. And, you know, it was kind of this calm I hadn't seen out of Webb in a long time either. But at that time, it got us 1 back. 2 guys finished 10 under in the morning. I think it was Schwartzel and maybe DJ, but I think 2 guys had got it to 10 in the morning, and that put Weber at 9. And, again, it was kind of that first little inkling that, okay, it seems like he's ready to keep going. And, man, did he ever. On number 9, we hit a really sloppy chip on number 9, didn't hit a great second shot, hit a sloppy chip to about, I don't know, probably 18 feet, something like that, and poured that one in the middle to turn in 5 under. And obviously when you shoot 5 under on the front 9 at Sawgrass, especially when it's playing firm and fast, you know you've done something really special because now you've got some scoring opportunities coming up on the back.
Paul, when you mentioned on 7 and hitting out of the bunker, and I just think it's fascinating in terms of being a caddy. Like, how often, maybe in this round or just in general, do you guys not agree on a club selection? Obviously, when you have a good round going and, like you said, you're in the fairway bunker and you know that's his weakness, do you kind of take charge and like, hey, I think you should hit this? Or if Webb pushes back on you, how do you guys make that decision ultimately about what to hit?
Yeah, what a great question. I think so much of it changes based on, number one, who you're working for and how long you've been together. So early on in Webb's career, let's just say, you know, kind of our 1.0, so the first 2 to 3 years, I was doing a lot. I was really jumping in a lot, being very, you know, kind of adamant about my thoughts, my decisions, my clubs that I thought Webb needed to use. We had about a 2 to 3 year stretch there where I think there was a little bit of strife between us because I think he was growing as a player, growing in confidence, growing in knowledge, growing in wisdom, and I was still being the same caddy. So we kind of had a little bit more battle, a little bit more grind there between us too often. And then finally realizing kind of in this last little half of his career, and especially 2018, the players, kind of a lot less work from me, a lot less, you know, club changing by me. I'd say at the time still probably 2 to 4 times around where maybe you disagree about a club, but basically what I'll do is I'll get his opinion on it, and if it makes sense to me and I know that he's not bringing trouble into play, I'd let him go. And so I just remember number 7, earlier in his career, he would have tried to smash something, and I always believed out of fairway bunkers, you try to choke up a little bit, try to kind of have dead legs so you don't want to hit anything hard. And so by that time, he had already figured that out. He hit something, you know, a little bit softer, a little bit more chippy, kind of taking the legs out of the shot. But he had already learned that by then. So a lot less of that kind of club changing by the time 2018 came around.
How about Paul Tesori giving us a little swing tip from the fairway bunkers as well? Dead legs, choke up. There you go, folks. That's I'll take that in my game.
Absolutely. Feel like the legs are in concrete out of fairway bunkers. If you can, choke up and hit one extra club. There's a little kind of tidbit on the run.
That's awesome. Paul Tesori with us, longtime caddy for Webb Simpson. The Dream 18 round, a Friday at the Players Championship, TPC Sawgrass 2018. Webb Simpson had fired a 66 on Thursday, right in the mix. It's a beautiful round of golf. But now he completes the front 9 after draining, I think it was an 18-footer on 9 for birdie to get to 5 under and an opening 931, and then, Paul Tesori, the magic happens from 11 to 16. And you know what? At TPC Sawgrass, if the conditions are right, the magic can happen. Those are scoreable holes all the way from 11 to 16. Now, some would question 14 and 15 being scoreable, but you can certainly get some birdies out there. And my goodness, did you guys ever. You made birdie on every single one, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, and 16.
Yeah, you know, so the advantage to being a May TPC for Weber is the fact that distance becomes less of ideal and accuracy becomes more important. When those fairways are firm and fast, if you can just hit it straight, the ball's going to run forever. And so you have certain holes like 11 that you just mentioned, like 14 that you just mentioned, where if Webb hits a good drive, you know, now we can hit a hybrid into 11 because the ball's getting out there. 14 on a good drive, you can hit a wedge into 14 if you hit it straight. 15, the dog leg right, you actually have to move it left to right. And so, you know, you had kind of mentioned where the run started. It started on 11. Again, being really, really smart on the second shot. The pin was all the way in the back. You can't go long to that back flag or you take birdie out of play. Webb hit a good second shot in there to about, I don't know, I'd have to guess 60 feet. I don't have exact numbers, but hit an incredible lag putt to pretty much give me, I think it was about 2 feet tapped in for birdie. Turned around on 12, which, we decided to lay up on all week. It wasn't really intentional at the beginning. We laid up the first day. Second day, kind of got that middle right flag, which is, very doable with a wedge. If you do hit driver and miss it right, it's a tough chip. Hit a mediocre wedge to the right fringe, about, 17, 18 feet again. Poured that one right in the middle. And then 13 is when Terrell Hatton started joining me in kind of the pom-poms. As a caddy, you've always got a little bit of the pom-poms out. If you want your guy to play well, you can't do a whole lot about it. You can try to give good information, but then you have to sit back and watch him do his thing. And you start enjoying it when your guy is doing something special. So, again, turning him 5 under, one-shot lead at the turn. He birdies 11 and 12. You got a 3-shot lead. Go to 13. That pins back left. It's a perfect shot to about 20 to 25 feet. And I remember sitting there, and all of a sudden I look to my left, and Terrell Hatton's standing right beside me. And he starts going. He goes, "You do know this is going in, right?" I'm like, "Terrell, settle down." He goes, "I'm just letting you know right now, this is going in. I've never seen anything quite like this." And, of course, the putt on 13 goes right in the middle. And Terrell just looks at me and goes, "I told you." We hustle over to 14. Webb hits a good second shot. I remember like it was yesterday. He's yelling out in the air to bite, sit down, and it did. It went to about 18 feet behind the hole. And we read the putt, and I go over to the side, and there's Hatton again. He goes, "What is this, couple feet out?" And I said, "Yep." He goes, "This is nothing but net." And as soon as Webb putted it, Terrell starts doing the Caddyshack. And he just pours it right in the middle. And it broke 2.5 feet at least and poured it in the middle. And Terrell had turned into a fan at this point, which you just don't get to see very often on the PGA Tour. We're playing with Terrell and Vegas, Johnny Vegas. And, they became fans, to be honest with you, as the round progressed. And that kind of takes us to 15.
That's awesome. Paul Tesori with us. I love the anecdotes of a round like this. Is it a little bit like a no-hitter in baseball where you don't want to talk to the pitcher? You have to talk to your guy, but is anybody else talking to him? And is Webb just kind of on his own little island here in the zone, and nobody wants to touch that zone?
Yeah, I heard Jim Furyk talking about when he shot 59, I believe at Conway Farms.
Yes, it was, yeah.
That wasn't Conway Farms. Okay, I remember him talking about that, and after he got done, he said, "Can you walk us through, were you nervous?" And he goes, "I was nervous, but I think they might have been paired with Gary Woodland. But whoever it was started talking about Pittsburgh Steelers football." And Jim said that was invaluable because it kind of took his mind off of it in between shots. And Webb practices something very, very similar. He calls it off time. So, when it's not time to read the putt, when it's not time to talk about club selection, when and all that, he believes in off time. So we talk about anything. And that day I wasn't fully prepared. I didn't have anything done, but I just started talking about random things. I started talking about things at the house. I started talking about his kids. I started talking about the schedule next year. I started talking about, sports. We both like to follow NBA basketball. So start talking about what LeBron was doing. I think Russell Westbrook that year was going for all of his triple doubles, the Warriors, and who are the Warriors going up against the time. And maybe whoever LeBron was with at the time. I kind of lose track
Probably
a little
Cleveland,
bit. Yep. I started talking about just different things. And, it was interesting how when you do that, it does work because you don't waste energy in between. And for me, to be honest with you, obviously we had a massive amount of fans following us. It was in the afternoon on Friday. When he makes the putt on 14, we go to 8 under on the day, 14 under total, 4-shot lead, and 8 under, 9 under on the day. And I'll get to a funny story about that in a little bit, but 9 under, 15 under for the tournament and a 5-shot lead. And so, you're just trying to kind of keep your mind really focused on the present and not go into any kind of future thoughts. Because number one, you still have over 2 rounds to go. And you also know what's coming up with 16, 17, and 18. And how, 16 and 17 still can be scoring holes, but also can obviously be very tough as well. So, the course was really, really starting to firm out. The wedge that we hit in the 14 released about 5 yards. We got to 15, hit a perfect drive down the middle. Pin was all the way in the back. We were in between 7 and 8 iron. We decided to go with an 8 iron, just take long out of play. And he hit a perfect 8 iron right at it, landed about 14 yards short of the hole, and went over the green with an 8 iron. And that'll tell you how the course was changing. I think the lowest score in the afternoon besides Weber was 5 under. And so Webb hits this ball, goes just over the green, the back little, collection area. He's got this 25-footer here again. Terrell Hatton standing right beside me. He's doing the pa-na-na-na-na-na-na, and Webb hits his putt, and he hits it way too hard. It looks like it's going to go 10 to 12 feet by the hole. It hits right in the back of the hole and pops up. And there's a great video there of Webb almost kind of sheepishly laughing, almost ashamed, embarrassed of this ball going in the hole. To go to 10 under, Terrell's laughing. Terrell didn't even move. He still had to go putt. He didn't even move. He was just standing there in disbelief about what he was watching, because I think, Casey, I think you brought up the +5 he was putting that day. Remember, that did not include the fringe putt that we made on 12 and did not include the putt that we made on 15, because that goes as a hole out from off the green,
right,
and doesn't go into putting stats. So most likely it could have been a +7 day if those two would have counted. My next favorite memory, it's a really good drive on 16, and we're walking down there, and I hear somebody yell from the crowd, "Come on, Weber, 3 more for 59." And I say out loud to Webb, I go, "Have another, buddy," because I thought we were 7 or 8 under at the time. And I always keep Webb's scorecard. I keep Webb and, whoever else we're playing with, so Webb doesn't have to worry about it. And so, after he said that, we're walking, and Webb's a fast walker, so I kind of let Webb go in front of me a little bit, and I pulled out my scorecard so he couldn't see it, and very quickly did the addition and realized we were 10 under through 15. And I had a moment there, and it's something I'll never forget. I had goosebumps, and I thought to myself, that's impossible. He can't be 10 under on this golf course the way it's playing right now. Again, the wind was up. It was blowing sustained 10 miles an hour. The course was brick firm. We just hit an 8-iron on the previous hole that had released 19 yards total. We landed at 14 yards short of the hole trying to be smart, and he's 10 under par on this golf course. Makes birdie on 16 to go to 11 under. And then I remember walking to 17, and I could probably count on one hand how many times I've been nervous in my life as a caddy. Now, I get excited, yes. I get adrenaline, yes. But nervous is a different thing. I just don't get it that often caddying. And I remember walking from 16 to 17, and I already knew the number from that morning, and I knew the wind, and I knew we were going to be in between clubs. Webb only carries 3 wedges, and his sand wedge goes 126. His pitching wedge goes 145. We have a 19-yard gap. And I pretty much know already this next shot's going to be dead in between those two. And so a little anxious on that long walk over to 17th tee.
Oh, what happened on that 17th hole for Webb Simpson as he and Paul Tesori on the bag chasing a 59 on a Friday at TPC Sawgrass at the Stadium course in the 2018 Players Championship. The rest of the story through 17 and more of our conversation with Paul Tesori, including the terrific job they do here in the Jacksonville area and now all across the country with their Tesori Family Foundation, and you don't want to miss that part of the story. That's coming up this weekend on the podcast. We'll give you some bonus stuff on the podcast. Hope you can check it out. It's the Dream 18 Show. Look it up wherever you get your podcast. We'll share it on social media when we post it this weekend while you're watching some golf at the Zurich Classic as well. This is the Dream 18 Show, sponsored by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors. And coming up next, it's our Power Tee Picks of the Week. Who's going to win in Louisiana? It's next on ESPN 690.
Where are those receipts?
Tax day is nearly here,
I held on to those.
and Chanel is stressing.
Why do I always wait to the last minute?
Her small business needs a bookkeeper to crunch some big numbers.
All these spreadsheets make my head spin. None of this adds up.
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. You're driving along and some nimrod cuts you off. You hit the horn. Jeez, it sounds like a goose in distress. Time to head over to eBay Motors. They have horns for every make and model, not to mention horn pads, steering wheels, wiring, and more. 122 million parts. You can even go for an upgrade. Now, it looks like Mr. Cutoff Man needs a new seat cover. Try eBay Motors, pal. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
It's a good time to upgrade around your home. You like the sound of reducing noise coming in the house? Do you want to be more energy efficient at your house? Let Florida Georgia Windows and Doors upgrade your home. 35 years of experience to get the job done. Protect your home from storms and increase your home security with modern windows and doors from Florida Georgia Windows and Doors. 904-641-7010. 904-641-7010. Save money, look better, protect your home with Florida Georgia Windows and Doors.
The Gun Show is back at the Maxwell Snyder Armory on Normandy Boulevard this Saturday and Sunday. Buy, sell, trade, and browse a huge selection of guns, knives, ammo, and more with concealed weapons classes twice each day. Doors open at 9 a.m. See you at the Gun Show.
Quitting tobacco isn't easy. In all honesty, it's a very hard thing to do. The good news is Tobacco Free Florida is here to help you quit your way. When you call Tobacco Free Florida's phone quit service at 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW, you'll connect to a quit coach who will help you assess your addiction. You may also qualify for free nicotine patches or gum. So call us at 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW to double your chances of success. No judgments, just help.
People often ask me, how much money do I have to pay you up front to be my personal lawyer? The answer is nothing. It's free unless we win. What about a slip and fall or car crash case? Free unless we win. We have recovered billions in settlements and verdicts over the years. We have never taken a fee unless we've won the case. Our service is free unless we recover for you. You can hire the largest personal injury law firm in the world as your personal lawyer for free unless and until we recover for you.
Morgan & Morgan. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
I'm Action News Jack's First Alert meteorologist Garrett Biedenball. Weather here is unique. It can be bright and sunny one minute and then a downpour the next. That's why mornings are when you need us the most. So you can plan your day, no matter if you're getting ready to go to work or working from your living room, getting the kids ready for school or ready for lunchtime. I'm on TV explaining how weather is going to affect your day and night ahead, so you're prepared for anything. I'll get you ready on Action News Jax this morning.
Be yourself and bank your way at Community First. Get free checking with rewards, your paycheck deposited a day early, and free digital tools. Add an account at justbeyourself.com. Community First Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Plenty of local golf events on the horizon for the North Florida Junior Golf Foundation. Find out all the information and a schedule at their website, nfjg.org. April 24th, the $1 Million Championship at Deer Creek. Just a week later, the Titleist Open at Marsh Landing. You can still register. A week after that, the Florida Coast Cup at World Golf Village. Registration for those two events are still open on the website. See the entire schedule and find out about the North Florida Junior Golf Foundation at nfjg.org.
Napa know-how. At Napa, we're helping you knock out your bucket list. Because when you buy a Napa bucket for $4.99 and toss 3 or more items inside, you'll save 20% on your bucket full. So whether your bucket list includes restoring a classic, visiting every state, or saving money on the things to get you there, Napa's got your back and your bucket. Turn your shopping list into a bucket list at Napa. Napa know-how. At participating locations, not valid on sale items. Other exclusions apply. Offer ends 4/30/2022.
Couple minutes to go here on the Dream 18 show, the second edition of it, and we've got fantasy stuff to talk about. Last week, I gave you some pretty solid options if you went with them. Shane Lowry, that probably worked out. Daniel Berger, not great, okay. Corey Connors, another one that worked out for you. So these are the Power T picks of the week for fantasy. I mentioned it at the top. Scotty Scheffler, Ryan Palmer has worked his way into another great pairing. He usually plays with John Rahm. This week he's playing with Scotty Scheffler. The disrespect, by the way, in the DFS salary. Not even a 10K and above play in the 9K range. Scotty Scheffler, Ryan Palmer, they might win the whole thing. In the 8K, give me Sung J M, by the way. He's playing with Ben On. Ben On, very funny, but has struggled. Anytime you can get Sung J M at that price, you got to go for it. And in the cheap areas, how about Troy Merritt? Did well last week, been playing well. Playing with old Bobby Streb this week at 7,800, and Vincent Whaley in the very bottom of the fantasy lobby. You can get Vincent Whaley and Lee Hodges. I would pretty much trust my life with Vincent Whaley. The guy makes the cut in every event. Does not matter the course. He's making the cut. He'll make the cut this week in New Orleans. So if you listened last week, hopefully you rode those picks. Ride these picks again in your daily fantasy operation, and hopefully it works out for you because those are the Power T picks of the week, Brent.
Hey, Casey, good work last week. Hopefully you have as good a week this week. By the way, Billy Horschel's been really good at this event, including winning it.
He has, yeah.
So maybe lean toward Billy at all. But
yeah,
he's playing good golf too.
Yeah, definitely not a bad play. He's in the 10K range, so it's going to cost you, which is why I go for a guy like Scheffler, who's number 1 in the world, in a lower price point. But if you need a 10K play and you can't get up to Morikawa and Hovland, yeah, Billy Horschel's a guy that you could really look at this week. And then in terms of like straight betting the event, that's a guy you'd want to look at because the odds are in your favor.
All right, those are your Power Tee picks of the week. This is the Dream 18 show sponsored by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors. And let's end with a favorite round. We have hashtag Dream 18. Our buddy Jack Aschenbach, who runs the North Florida Junior Golf Foundation as a charity recipient of our Dream 18, shared this with me. Best round back in 2002 at Windy Harbor Golf Club, which is a real fun course here in Jacksonville at Mayport. Shot a career low round of 64, included a perfect scorecard. Started out birdie, 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 eagle, then birdied the par 4 ninth hole to turn at 30, 6 under par. Make 8 straight pars on the back nine, would arrive at the par 5 18th hole where I hooked my drive into the left fairway bunker, about 20 yards long. The ball would be at the back of the bunker on a downhill lie, some 240 from the green, blocked by trees. Gives a little shout-out to Jimmy Loudenslager. His trifecta 3-wood blistered a power draw around trees about 100 yards in front. Ball landed in the center of the green, kicked some 15 yards over. He pitched it. Went 6 inches down for the eagle, finished at 8 under par.
Wow.
Bunker shot and pitcher talked about to this day by the group that I played with. He said, certainly is the best shot of my PGA career that I can remember.
Dang.
And he's a very good golfer, so he's many moments. Nice round, Jack Aschenbach. Share your hashtag Dream 18 with us. What's your favorite round of golf? Doesn't have to be your best score, your favorite round of golf, and we'll share some along the way on this journey. The Dream 18 show sponsored by Florida Georgia Windows and Doors. Thanks to Power Tee as well for our picks of the week. And appreciate Davoli's House of Cards having us an hour early. We have Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690, 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. Coming up next, we will make our picks for the Zurich Classic this week. And also, Deebo Samuel on the trade block, perhaps. Would the Jags be interested? That's a big story on a Wednesday, just about a week away from the NFL Draft, and we talk about it next. Action Sports Shacks on ESPN 690.
A proud sponsor of the Dream 18 is Power Tee. Get at them at PowerTee.com because they make golf better. They provide an incredible hitting experience while you are on the range. You can find Power Tee at top facilities around the world, including St. Andrews. Locally, find it at Fleming Island Golf Club. I use it at Blue Sky Golf Club. I was down in Sarasota recently, and I found a location in Sarasota with Power Tee. All the information on how to get and where to find Power Tee is on their website at PowerTee.com, and make golf better.
It's a good time to upgrade around your home. You like the sound of reducing noise coming in the house? Do you want to be more energy efficient at your house? Let Florida Georgia Windows and Doors upgrade your home. 35 years of experience to get the job done. Protect your home from storms and increase your home security with modern windows and doors from Florida Georgia Windows and Doors. 904-641-7010. 904-641-7010. Save money. Look better. Protect your home with Florida Georgia Windows and Doors.
Plenty of local golf events on the horizon for the North Florida Junior Golf Foundation. Find out all the information and a schedule at their website, nfjg.org. April 24th, the $1 Million Championship at Deer Creek. Just a week later, the Titleist Open at Marsh Landing. You can still register. A week after that, the Florida Coast Cup at World Golf Village. Registration for those 2 events are still open on the website. See the entire schedule and find out about the North Florida Junior Golf Foundation at nfj